Alright then, let's get Pikmin 1 started. And how do I start off? By taking our save file and crashing onto an alien planet. Well, that's a painful landing, but at least one that you can get up from. Any crash you can stand up from is a good one, I guess. But where's our spaceship? Ah! Well, my name is Captain Olimar. While traveling through space, my ship was struck by a meteor. I must have blacked out, and I woke on the surface of a weird planet. So many parts lost. The skeletal hull of my beloved dolphin is a painful sight. The engine is gone. I'm stranded. To make matters worse, my atmospheric sensors indicate this planet's environment contains high level of poisonous oxygen. My life support system can only function for 30 days. If I can't repair the dolphin by then... No. Better not think about it. I must find the missing ship pieces. Yes! That is our general gist, and this game starts off pretty close to the camera. Like, too close to the ground, if you ask me. But, oh well. This will be our very first Pikmin. A strange thing has appeared before me. I had barely begun my search when it reared up as if it were waiting for me. It then dropped a single seed. What is it? Is it alive? Is it a machine? It resembles a vegetable on my home planet that we call an onion. I shall call this an onion too. Yep, now we could, if we so desired, wait and let that little seed become a sprout, and from a sprout it can become a bud, and from a bud it become a flower. But I don't feel like waiting like 20 minutes, so... Say that the onion drop took root in the soil and has now produced an adorable little sprout. The sprout emits a strange light and it sways back and forth without the benefit of wind. I can't help but think it's calling to me. I'm compelled. I must approach it and press A. Yes, because I'm playing this on the GameCube, not the Wii. Because that's the only two ways of playing this game, and I think nowadays the most common way is the Wii, which is most people's preferred way of playing Pikmin. Extraordinary! When I plucked the sprout, it turned out to be a living creature, not a plant. Picking it has done no visible damage. It just stands there, staring at me. Menacingly! It just stands there staring at me. Its shape is so similar to a Pikmin carrot I love so much. I believe I shall call it a Pikmin. Here I am, stranded on a toxic planet, fighting for survival, and yet I'm intrigued. I must research this fascinating creature. I shall grab it and throw it with A, and I will call it to my side with B. Perhaps I will retract it with C and X as well. The following controls appear to be my viewpoints. L is to fall behind me, R is to zoom in and out, Z is to go change your angle, whether it be from your side or right above you. And I must survive. If I must survive, I must familiarize myself with the controls and my surroundings. Okay. So I prefer the second one. Like, this is number 3. This is number 1, which is up close. I'm sure there's a use for it, but I am not a big fan of the up close one. Astonishing! The onion has sown more seeds. The small wood pellets a Pikmin harvested after cutting down a flower appears to be some type of food that can propagate more Pikmin. The onion seems to be some sort of incubator. Needless to say, I must study this strange life form more. So yes, this is the general gist of Pikmin. I like to go with the fun. Now the Z button will go straight above it, I said before. And the camera will go down here, but as soon as we leave, it will go back to normal. Well, Croat normal. But also, if you notice, that's a red pellet, and we're getting out red Pikmin. The reason for that being, because it is the same color, we're technically getting more nutrients out of the bud than we would if it was, say, a different color. Also, Pikmin can trip, which can be sometimes annoying. Because when they trip, it just slows them down, and they have to get back up, and it probably is going to be the death of Pikmin. Not that it matters too much, but it can matter a bit. Now, the Fallout one, I don't use this one too often, but it is a lot more helpful. Especially if you want to get, like, a survey of the land. So, like, I saw the one pellet up there, and I see all this down here. I'm also able to check things further away because of the fact that I have the thing. Now, as Pikmin, we can throw them. If they are on the ground, they can attack the bud. But if you land it right on top of the bud, it's an automatic 1-2 KO on the bud, causing the pellet to immediately fall, meaning it's your way of saving time. Also, Pikmin can get stuck behind walls and whatnot. They aren't the most intelligent of creatures, but they are... yeah. Also, a nice thing that is a lot easier to do with the GameCube controller is that if we hit the march button, which is the C stick, we can control them around. The biggest hurdle that Olimar might have to face is how fast he can throw his Pikmin. But if his Pikmin are very close to him, he can throw them a lot faster. Okay, so it's 12. So if I just hit the button, it goes like that. But if I have them all swarm around me, I can throw them like rapid fire. And rapid fire is going to be a lot more helpful, especially when it comes to fighting enemies and bosses. Anyways, a group of 10 Pikmin working together are strong enough to push a box. Pikmin are as curious as children. They form groups to perform tasks that would be impossible for an individual. A glimmer of hope has begun to shine in my heart. If I can make use of their skills, perhaps I can fix my ship. I shall sum up all I've learned of the Pikmin conduct. Approach and press A to pick up sprouts. Press A to grab Pikmin and release the throw. Press B to call them. X to dismiss. C to command and control the group. L, R, and Z to control my perspective. I shall record all of this in my computer. I can press Y to access my computer. So, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of Pikmin right there. The whole picking, throwing, sprouting, everything else. And as we go over this way, what do we happen to find but this thing? Amazing! There's no mistaking it. My ship's engine rests before my very eyes. By a stroke of pure luck, I have already stumbled upon the most important piece of my damaged craft. Fate has smiled upon me, but how will I get back to the dolphin? Well, if we have the Pikmin do it, it turns out we need 20. Now, it's easy to get 20, and we can get up to 25. We will try to get... we want to get as much Pikmin as we can, because why not? And then, at the very end, turn in the engine, because as soon as the engine is put in, our day ends. So any Pikmin that we did not get, any buds we did not get, will be lost to us. Meaning you're only missing out on 5, so that big pellet, because the small ones, these guys will give us 2. This guy can give us up to 5. And I think with a different color, it would only give us like 3. Also, there is a limit to how many Pikmin can carry an item. Only 2 Pikmin can carry the 1, and only 10 can carry the 5. Now, I said before that there were a different variety of Pikmin, and there are. There are leaf, bud, and flower Pikmin. And each of these Pikmin do the exact same thing. However, leaf Pikmin are the absolute slowest of Pikmin you will find in the game. Buds are faster, and flowers are the fastest. When many Pikmin seed sprout at once, I find it rather tedious by plucking them from the ground individually. My father always told me I was really good at routine tasks. I guess I'll just try and get it all done by repeatedly pressing A until I pick up all the Pikmin from the ground. I've noticed that when I add a Pikmin to my group, they become filled with excitement and flourish with bright color. At other times, they revert to a paler hue and give off a dim glow. Paying close attention to these differences is bound to help me distinguish Pikmin. So yes, I can show that off in just a second there. After we get all of these little guys, Okay, so if I throw this guy over there, he lands, and yes, as you see, he comes very pale. Pinkish, actually. But as soon as he joins us, he gets his bright red coloring back. And now, again, we can throw. We can command them with the C-stick, or if we just have them close enough, we can disband them, and they will try to get it. Now, Pikmin don't always succeed when they are searching for a grabbing point. They got lucky this time. But sometimes, something like this, it needs 20. I could have 20 on there with the extra 5, and the 5 could be going around, and not find a spot to actually grab onto. It just means that you can try throwing them again, and hope that they have more luck the second time around. Doesn't always happen, but it's annoying when you're like, I know more Pikmin can carry this thing, but they just aren't finding a spot. And if you have too many Pikmin, so, like, say the ones, if you have the 2 on there and you try to add a third, they will try to find a spot to grab and won't find it, and then they get sad. If you're close enough, they will come back and join you right off the bat. But if you are too far away, they get sad and they just stand still and essentially just waste their time and yours, because then you have to go find them before the day ends, which will be something we will worry about in day 2. But today we got the most important piece of the entire rocket ship, the engine. Oh, glorious! With the help of those Pikmin, I have taken a huge step back towards home. A ship can once again lift off. The glimmer of hope is beginning to burn more brightly. But what has become of the remaining parts? That search starts tomorrow. So we don't have to deal with this right now, but any Pikmin that is not in your group, A, and is not close enough to your ship / the Pikmin onions, B, will be lost at night. So, if you want to make sure you don't lose any Pikmin due to running out of time, make sure they're close enough to the base, make sure they're in your party. If Steve just so happens to be out in the middle of nowhere and you take off, well, he'll be running back here and seeing the onion and the rocket ship take off without them. Day 1 since impact. I've somehow managed to launch the dolphin, but I was surprised to see the onion lift off with me. Perhaps the Pikmin cannot survive overnight on the planet's surface, or have they merely decided to join me for other reasons? Either way, it seems that they will be helping me again tomorrow. The dolphin is missing 29 parts. If I can recover them all, if I can't recover them all, I may never return home to my family on planet Hakatate. And it also shows life support systems will function for only 29 more days. How can I repair my dolphin in such a short time? A dense forest is below on the surface below. A dense forest is visible on the surface below. As it holds the key to my survival, I name it the Forest of Hope. I explore it tomorrow. We can see our Pikmin and how our population has changed throughout the day. We have sprouted 25, and 25 in total. We have lost none in battle, and we have left none behind. Bottom left is how many ship pieces we have, the parts remaining in the middle, and our days remaining on the right.